and that I'd be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life. Not only that, but I had to last another 5 months on this special bed so that my fourth vertebrae lumbar would maybe knit back together. Anyway, after that 5 months I was moved to a place called Astley Ainsley in Morningside in Edinburgh. I was in a wheelchair, and after 2 or 3 weeks in the wheelchair, a physiotherapist came into the room. She said to me, "Do you want physiotherapy?" And I said to her, "No, I wouldn't like physiotherapy. I'm crippled from the waist down." She asked me what was wrong with me, and I told her. And she said to me, "Oh, I've known people who have walked with those injuries." Of course, I was pretty cynical at that time, and I said to her, "Oh, Professor Hitchcock with 12 million letters after his name tells me that I'm not going to walk again, and you come in from the physiotherapist shop and you say to me that I can walk." And she said to me, "No, I didn't say you would walk. I said to you, I've known people who have walked with your injuries. You're only young and you may be able to learn how to walk another way." So with this challenge I took her on, and she brought in a Zimmer, and that led to elbow crutches, to walking sticks, and eventually I mastered how to walk with the two drop feet. After only a few months I was allowed back home. But all of this incident did not teach me any kind of lesson, because rather than settling down into the situation that I now found myself, I started to drink alcohol very heavily indeed. And that led to me getting involved with fights and arguments, and on one occasion I cut a man's throat, and on another occasion I hit a man with a bottle, and slowly but surely I started to get a right reputation. And one of the reasons I had a reputation was because I could not run away. My feet were in such a state that if I was involved in something, I had to take it through to the very end. So this got me a big reputation, and slowly but surely a gang started to get formed, and up and down the country there was gang warfare all over the place. We were carrying axes, we were carrying sawn-off shotguns, usually 410s, we were carrying knives, razors, and we had girlfriends who carried these knives and razors into dance halls and pubs for us, and eventually we would fight other gangs, and usually the police, we would end up fighting the police as well. Of course, eventually this led me to prison. I was put into a detention centre in a place called Medhamsley in Consett in County Durham. I got time in there in the detention centre, and then I was into more trouble. And by the time I was 20, I was married and partied in less than 3 weeks. Such was my selfish ways. By the time I was 21, I started to get into trouble more and more, and to cut a long story short, my life was just a total wreck. I was alcoholic by this time. I had a very dreadful reputation. I couldn't get a good job, and the good jobs that I did manage to get on occasion, they ended up being very short indeed, because I would usually not go in because I was hungover, or else I would go away and get involved with alcohol. And all this time I'm thinking to myself, what's the use of this? Where did I come from? What am I actually doing here in this world? What happens when your heart stops beating? Is there a God? Are these